up and we delivered billions of dollars to help families that needed affordable quality child care. Rhode Island received $93 million in child care funds under the American Rescue Plan, and it put that money to work very effectively. This is one example of it. However, we know that child care and Head Start classrooms remain closed because there are not enough teachers, as Khadijah said. We know that low wages are driving many skilled professionals out of child care because they can't afford to do the work. And according to one national report, as many as 700,000 child care providers could go out of business unless there is continued support. And that's why I joined my colleagues in the Senate in urging the administration to continue the child care stabilization support funding that was provided through the American Rescue Plan, including making it part of any emergency supplemental funding request that they send to Congress. We're seeking at least $16 billion for child care in an emergency supplemental. We're also working to increase funding through the regular programs that support child care. For example, the Child Care and Development Block Grant, the Head Start program, and the Preschool Development Grant. Now, I'm a member of the Appropriations Subcommittee that allocates and appropriates these funds, and I work with my colleagues to provide $1 billion in total increases for the programs I mentioned. But the House Republican majority would chart another path. The House would cut Head Start by $750 million and would totally eliminate the Preschool Development Grant Program. This is a danger to individual families and our economic security. We know that the early years are critical for children. They develop their instincts, their brain, physically, emotionally, socially. These are all qualities that will provide them success in the future. Without this kind of development, we're condemning really a whole generation of young children to an indifferent future, and we can't tolerate that. So we know that there are too many families who face the risk of losing their child care. And it's not just Rhode Island, it's all across this country. This is a national problem, and we've got to do more, and we've got to assure access. That's why I'm co-sponsoring the Child Care for Working Families Act. This bill would cap the amount most families would have to pay for child care to a percentage of their income so they could afford it. The commitment to workers and families is long overdue. And there are investments that will spur economic growth and set all of our children on a very positive and beautiful beginning. Again, Congress has a lot of work to do before the end of the fiscal year, which ends September 30th. The Senate will be in session beginning on September 5th. The House does not return until September 12th. We have very few days to deal with this issue. We must deal with this issue. We've got to work together. We've got to keep the government working for the people and stay focused on the issues that matter to most people. And child care, having the ability to work while your children are safely educated and protected, those are two critical aspects for every family in America. Now I'd like to invite Paige, who is continuing a great tradition in Rhode Island as head of Kids Count, excellence and advocacy for children, and they are the vanguard and the leaders. So Paige, come forward, please. Thank you.
Hello and good morning, everyone. I am Paige Closhus-Parks, Executive Director of Rhode Island Kids Count. I want to thank Senator Reed for the introduction and for your tireless and effective leadership in the U.S. Senate on children and family issues. He has been working hard for Rhode Islanders and active on many important issues, including child care, Head Start and early childhood education, and we thank you for your leadership. We also want to thank Khadijah Lewis-Khan, the director of Beautiful Beginnings, this wonderful location that we're on. What a perfect place to have this important conversation around the importance of child care. Beautiful Beginnings is a high-quality child care provider that also provides early Head Start and Rhode Island pre-K services. And Khadijah has been an amazing and strong advocate for young children and families and early educators as well. Rhode Island Kids Count is the coordinator of the Right from the Start campaign, This campaign is a legislative and budget campaign that advocates for policy changes that will help ensure that all young children and their families get off to the right start, regardless of their race, ethnicity, immigration status, family structure, family income, or zip code. The campaign is led by 8 organizations and a steering committee, which includes Beautiful Beginnings, Economic Progress Institute, the Latino Policy Institute, Parents Leading for Educational Equity, the Rhode Island Association for the Education of Young Children, the Rhode Island Association for Infant Mental Health, Rhode Island Head Start Association, and Rhode Island Kids Count. We are here today because we have been strong advocates, as the Senator said, for early childhood programs, and the Child Care for Working Families Act supports many of the work that we are doing here at the local level. Rhode Island families rely on federal funding to provide access to affordable, high-quality child care and early learning programs. In fact, 89% of the funding for the Rhode Island Child Care Assistance Program comes directly from the federal government. Rhode Island has cut almost $48 million in state funding for child care since 2005, and currently we're only serving 6,000 children, less than half of the 14,000 children that were served in 2003. Federal funding during the COVID-19 pandemic has been absolutely critical to keeping our child care centers and family child care homes from going out of business. Rhode Island was able to distribute over $60 million in federal funding directly to licensed child care programs in the state to help cover operating expenses during mandatory closures and when enrollments were disrupted due to staff, child, and family quarantines. In addition, Rhode Island was able to increase the rates to paid providers so they are closer to meeting the federal equal access standard, and to waive family co-payments and then permanently reduce family co-payments to meet the federal affordability standard. This is great use of federal dollars. This funding has helped to keep our child care programs open and our state economy thriving. However, we are here today to say that this commitment to helping families and children in child care programs must continue and to be expanded so that more families can have access to high quality, affordable, and reliable child care. Child care is the biggest living expense in most family budgets. In Rhode Island, 9 out of 10 families cannot afford the average cost of child care for one infant. In 2021, the average cost of spending for one infant in a licensed child care center in Rhode Island was $13,780 annually. For a preschooler, it was $11,700, and for children 6 to 12 years old in care during hours and days where school is not in session was $8,684. Using the federal child care affordability guideline, which states that no more than 7% of a family income should be spent on child care, a Rhode Island family would need to earn at least $197,000 to afford the average annual cost for one infant at a licensed child care center. Child care educators, almost all of whom are women and are disproportionately women of color, are responsible for the safety, health, learning, and development of our youngest children. But the median hourly wage is only $13.26 for a child care educator and $14.08 for a preschool educator. This is the same or lower than fast food workers. Rhode Island Kids Count and the Right from the Start campaign thank Senator Reed for his leadership in securing critical federal funds needed to stabilize the child care system during the pandemic, and for his sponsorship of the Child Care for Working Families Act. We urge passage of this legislation. It's not enough to just raise the alarm, but we need to do something about it so we can bring more resources to Rhode Island to help more families access affordable, reliable child care and to provide competitive wages for our critically important child care educators. Thank you very much.
Well, after Paige, all I can say is I rest my case. But any questions on child care for Paige or myself? Okay, I see you just silenced everybody. You're remarkable, Paige. Remarkable. Bud? Oh, great. Oh, come on. Okay.
You're gonna wait. You gotta give him. You gotta shake his hand and take a picture.
Oh, look up, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
You gonna shake his hand?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, Senator Reed.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Honestly, this is what you do it for, and you know, we really appreciate your advocacy.
Thank you. We'll get this up very quickly. So, do you want to move to a new location to take up the other topic?
Yeah, if we could just go for the side.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Can I introduce you to a couple parents?
Second here. Sorry. Get my act together. All right. We'll make it.